Hey folks, we're here today and it is Halloween and we are going to make a little bit of a gimlet cocktail. So what is a gimlet? Gimlet's a pretty awesome drink. All right. So a gimlet is basically just gin and lime and simple syrup. Most of the time you get a gimlet, first let me back up a little bit. Gimlet is usually served in a martini glass. We couldn't find any martini glasses today.
This is all they had at the dollar store.
Yeah, your classic frozen daiquiri glass. Now, gimlet is a drink that's not served like a frozen daiquiri. It's usually served up traditionally, and it's usually served in a martini glass with a lime on it. So, what is a gimlet? A gimlet is gin. We got Bombay Dry. It's very similar to Bombay Sapphire, except it's cheaper. And honestly, I like it more. Bombay Sapphire has 3 more botanicals in it, and that's why it's more expensive. Still has the Queen Mum on there too, so you know you can still pay your respects. Rest in peace. So we've got gin, and then at most places you're gonna get Rose's lime juice. Rose's lime juice is a sweetened lime cordial that has very little real lime in it. So way back in the 1700s, a Scotsman whose last name was Rose figured out that one way to keep and preserve limes was to add enough sugar to them so that they wouldn't basically rot. And his lime cordial was one of the first ways that they were able to preserve limes in order to fight scurvy in the British Navy. And so that's why they became quite fond of Rose's lime. And it found its way into bartenders' shelves everywhere. And basically, Rose's lime, really, not the greatest product. I know a lot of great mixologists, and they hate this stuff. I personally love it, and I love gimlets because when you go to a place that maybe sucks, or maybe you don't know how good the bartender is, you can order a gimlet, and you're probably going to get a fairly serviceable drink. Might be overly sweet, but that's why there's a lime garnish on there, and you can just squeeze that sucker, and the gimlet's going to not be as terrible. So let me show you first how a prototypical gimlet is made at most bars. It's really, really simple. So you would take 2 ounces of your gin. I'll let Sherry pour it in the tin here.
2 ounces?
2 ounces. So that's the 1.5 side there. Yummy. And then you're going to do 1 ounce of Rose's lime. So most places make it as a 2-1 cocktail. A lot of bar books will actually call for just a tablespoon of lime cordial and simple syrup and no amount of lime juice. I'm going to show you the recipe that I like to run when you have fresh lime juice and fresh simple syrup. So there we go. It's in the glass. A lot of bars, if they're really lowbrow, they'll just give you that on ice. We are going to
Especially out here in Vegas. The casinos.
We're going to ritz that up a little bit with the help of my friend from 1947. So we've got the Tap Icer. It's a fantastic ice cracking device that uses wrist action in order to crack ice. Incredible. Just like on the package, it cracks ice in a jiffy. All right. So we got that in there. Now we're just going to give it a little bit of a shake. And there we go, a standard issue gimlet.
Delicious.
So, yeah, one of my favorites. Yeah, it's great even with Rose's lime. Like, real honestly, gimlets are awesome. The cool thing about a gimlet, and the way I like to think about it, is it's kind of like the more sophisticated gin cousin to a lemon drop. It's still pretty lowbrow, because honestly it's just gin and Rose's lime. But at the same time, you put it in a martini glass, it doesn't have a sugar rim, makes me feel a little bit more like an adult than a lemon drop. But pretty much a very similar cocktail. But yeah, delicious. And also, I like to think of gimlets as training wheels into martinis, because you start to acquire the taste for gin, and then you can graduate to the level of a true sophistication. Oh, as always, it's Officer Paul saying, drive sober, get pulled over.